Over the past month and a half, I've seen the movies Black Widow, Snake Eyes, the Netflix shows Loki, WandaVision, and Rick and Morty. Black Widow was an enjoyable movie. It didn't have much tinfoil other than it was about human-trafficked, mind-controlled Russian super soldiers, and it introduced the idea of controlling people with aromas and pheromones. Snake Eyes, same thing. It was an enjoyable movie, but it didn't have much questioning of reality or letting the audience know that the reality they believe in isn't real. Although you could argue that the world Snake Eyes was in, he was then brought to a whole different world. But I guess there is the underworld of the Yakuza as well as Cobra. So there's that. But it was just an enjoyable movie. It had some cool morals and ways to live and things like that. But overall, it didn't really question reality. That's what we're going for. If you think I missed something with Black Widow or Snake Eyes, let me know in the comments. Now, WandaVision and Loki. Excellent. And both shows were about reality not being real and revealing to the audience and the characters that the reality they thought was real isn't exactly real.
The TVA is lying to you.
It isn't exactly what they thought it was.
I showed you your life before the TVA.
So throughout both shows, it was repeated multiple times.
Then who created the TVA?
Questioning reality.
You were in the Timekeeper's chambers. They weren't real.
And why do you think that changes anything?
That changes everything.
I also enjoyed the concept of the Timekeepers being an illusion, kind of like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
The people need to know the truth.
No, the TVA needs stability. And until we can figure out what's going on, that is what it will get.
And the man behind the curtain was He Who Remains.
I understand your moral objections to what the TVA does.
Now, I know a lot of people were excited with the whole multiverse part. For me, it was strictly the repeated questioning of reality.
You really believe in all this stuff, don't you? I don't get hung up on believe, not believe. I just accept what is.
A lot of friends of mine with Loki, they went in because they were fans of Loki, the character, and they were disappointed that the show was kind of out of character for Loki. And it wasn't even about him. It was about this whole world that Loki was brought into.
He's terrifying. He planned everything. He's seen everything. He knows everything. It's complicated.
And he didn't have the powers, and he wasn't as strong as he had appeared in previous movies. So if you're a Loki fan, go into this with no expectations of even continuity with the storyline. It's Loki completely removed from anything you knew.
Right.
So it's all a game. It's all a manipulation.
Interesting.
And he's kind of just there to drive the plot.
And my methods are deceptive. But the mission, it never was.
Outside of that, it's a whole different show, and if you go in for Loki, you might be disappointed. If you go in for it for an awesome questioning reality experience,
Killing the Timekeepers. But they turned out to be fake, in case you forgot.
Timekeepers are fake. We're all variants. What mission?
It can't have been for nothing.
it's really good.
People are ready to hear a little truth now. You know, like the TVA's a lie.
But what if it's a necessary one?
Now, WandaVision, on the surface, it appears like it's a period piece because episode 1 is about, it takes place in like the 1950s.
We have a lot to talk about.
Episodes 2 is in the 60s and 70s. Episode 3 is the 80s and 90s.
None of it is real.
So don't let the period pieces throw you off. I know it threw a lot of people off and they weren't understanding the satire. It's very satirical, or it's making commentary on those time periods. And I think it hopefully gets you to question, like, how is it that all of these decades had personalities?
What are you telling me?
Who was manufacturing that illusion, and why do we think of these time periods as such? How did those decades seem so different from one to the other?
Stop lying to me!
But that's not really what the whole show's about. It's that Wanda creates this whole reality that it's like her own. It's not really her own prison, but that's what we call it. Everybody's living in her reality, and that could be allegorical for anything.
What is outside of Westview?
You don't want to know, I promise you.
You don't get to make that choice for me, Wanda!
And there's some witchcraft in it, like near the end, which is kind of cool. But the fact that everyone's living in a false reality and there's a lot of questioning of the reality occurring, even for the Vision realizing...
For what? I can't remember my life before Westview. I don't know who I am.
That he was like brought back to life and he's living a lie, that he's not even living his own lie, he's living Wanda's life. But it's not even all that's on the surface. The idea is that it's showing you that what you think is reality isn't necessarily so, and you might be stuck in someone else's crazy version of reality.
Why? Tell me
Do
why.
you really think that I am controlling everything?
Anyway, I'd like to know what you guys thought of WandaVision, Loki, Snake Eyes, and Black Widow. Oh, and Rick and Morty.
I don't know how any of this started in the first place.
So Rick and Morty, it's kind of like, it's gotten to the point where it's like Eminem. And what I mean is, when Eminem first came out, people were blown away at how good he could rap, and how different it was, and how shocking it was, and how it broke all the boundaries of what was allowed. And that was the same when Rick and Morty first came out. It took everybody by storm because it was so new and fresh and different and far out and thought-provoking, and like whatever was here, Rick and Morty took it to that level.
You know what would happen if we didn't prune the timeline?
What?
Chaos. Death.
Free will?
The show keeps getting better and better, but we're so desensitized now. We know Rick's mind. We know what Morty's going to say. We know how crazy the show is going to be. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know it's going to be completely something unexpected. But now we expect the unexpected.
Free will? Only one person gets free will. The one in charge.
And it's no fault of the authors of Rick and Morty. They keep taking it to the next level. But I think we've been so fulfilled and so blown away that we're no longer blown away. It's almost as if we watch it now just to enjoy the lives of Rick and Morty.
Because if you think too hard about where any of us came from, who we truly are, it sounds kind of ridiculous.
Versus initially people were going into it just to be like, yo, I want to have my mind blown.
Existence is chaos. Nothing makes any sense, so we try to make some sense of it. And I'm just lucky that the chaos I emerged into gave me all this.
They keep taking it to the next level, but I think they've taken it, it's just like Eminem. All these albums that Eminem comes out with now, no one's impressed with anymore. But it's not that Eminem's not impressive. He's still impressive. It's just that we've gotten so used to how good he is that we no longer recognize the greatness. And you look at how the frenzy for Rick and Morty for seasons 1, 2, and 3, and now we have 4 and 5, which kept going further. And I don't see that same frenzy. I know everybody still enjoys the show, but I think we're all like, we've reached that we're used to the show now.
And it's real because I believe it's real.
And I'm not saying that it's getting stale. I'm just saying, I don't know what's happened to it. It's better than ever, yet I'm kind of like, cool.
Fair enough. You believe it's real.
Yeah.
So everything is written. Past, present, future.
I still watch it, but I'm just like, that was cool. Whereas before I was like, bro, that was amazing.
There's no such thing as free will.
Well, I mean, you know, it's an oversimplification.
So hey, Rick and Morty Season 5 is excellent to watch.
How does it all end?
That's a work in progress.
Oh, those lazy timekeepers. What are they waiting for?
Just, I wonder if you think the same thing. Has Rick and Morty worn off? The amazement that you used to have for Rick and Morty, has it kind of subsided? Not because the show got worse, it's just that you got used to it. Because the show is better than ever. Anyway, thanks for watching. May the Force be with you. Leave me some commentary below, and I'll see you in the next one.
Just order, and we meet in peace at the end of time. Nice, right?